I've spoken about this topic before, how to get up early, or this could basically apply to anything that you have some sort of resistance to doing, whether that be waking up early, going to the gym, going to work, going to school. I just wanted to add another tool to the toolbox. I talked before when I mentioned about this topic of just how to wake up early. I still do think it's valid advice to literally just get out of bed and start walking around. That's what wakes me up the most. But this kind of framework, this mental framework, comes from my reading. Right now I'm reading Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I'm reading a bad translation, so just a side note, get the one by Gregory Hayes. But aside from that, he talks about being indifferent to life and also being grateful for the opportunities that you have. So this could be a way to kind of reframe the thing that you don't want to do in your mind, rather than saying like, oh, I have to get up in the morning. I've heard other people talk about this idea of mental reframing and choosing your words a little bit differently, of saying, oh, I have to get up and go to the gym, or I have to go to school today, or I have to go to my 9 to 5. Instead of saying like you have to do that, you could change that around and say that you get to do it, which makes it sound a little bit more appreciative, right? You are kind of acknowledging at that sense the ability that you have to be able to do something like that, because for one, if you weren't alive, then you wouldn't get to go to work, or you wouldn't get to go to the gym, or you wouldn't have to go to the gym, or you wouldn't have to wake up early. So in one sense that could be taken a bad way, because I could see how you could take that as like, if you were dead then you wouldn't have to do anything. But I think it just goes to show that you should be appreciative for the life that we have. And he also talks a lot about life being such a short blip in time, and that the existence of our lifespan and the duration of time that we exist within all of humanity, or all of the universe, is basically nothing. So I don't know how you could take that. When I talk about this idea with other people, some of them say how it's a little nihilistic, because you kind of say that, you know, your existence doesn't matter because it's so short in time. But I think he's trying to take it in a different way, not to be that your life means nothing, even though I do think he has some sort of semblance of that. And I do agree to a point, because I have made a video that literally the title is Your Life Means Nothing. So in that sense, I will say that I think he's meaning it to kind of accept the things that happen to you, that, you know, even if somebody pisses you off at work, or even if you have to wake up at 5 a.m. one day for an early shift, or to go to the gym before work, that once that time passes, it really, you kind of just have to accept it for what it is. And in the totality of your life, it's really just one instance, one day out of your whole life. And if you really spend the time stressing over it, or getting upset that you had to do that the one day, especially if you just did it anyways and then now it's in the past, you don't really have to feel that pain anymore. You don't have to feel that resistance. You don't have to feel the aversion that you had, because it already happened. It's already in the past. So if you keep bringing it up in your own mind, that you're going to be the only one that feels that pain, right? So if you just kind of let these things go, as easy as it is to say rather than do, if you kind of just let go of the troubles and the pains that are done and over with in the past, then it's a lot easier to move forward with your life and just keep taking things as they come. And that's another commentary on, like, you know, living in the past or living in the future with anxiety, or living in the past with depression. It's something that you can get over if you kind of just accept life for what it is and as it comes, and as small as it is in the entirety of the universe. You kind of can take things a little less seriously, even though I do preach here taking your life seriously, taking your life into your own hands. It's still important to kind of have that playfulness still with life, that you don't take things too seriously, because you never know what could happen, honestly. Like, as morbid as that sounds, like, things could be over in an instant, and you don't want to regret things that you've done, or kind of have the regret, even though you wouldn't even have the regret because you wouldn't be here, to be like, damn, I missed out on stuff in life. So yeah, I think I took a little bit of a tangent, but circling back to the main point of the video, like how to use this to wake up, right? If you just wake up and you say that you're grateful for the things that you have, the opportunities that you have to be alive, and maybe even just become indifferent to it. You know, nobody's saying that waking up is a bad thing. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. You're kind of just framing that in your own mind and choosing for it to be like, oh, going to work is such a bad thing, or waking up early is such a bad thing. It doesn't have to be that way. Sure, it would be more pleasurable if you could wake up at whatever time you wanted, or for work you could do the things that you loved and enjoyed instead of having to sit at a desk or do customer service or something like that. But regardless, it's still an opportunity to do something, and I think that it's worth more weight than we often give it. So if you're having trouble waking up or doing things in your life that are not very enjoyable, not very fun, then maybe try to reframe it in your mind. And yeah, it's just another tool in the toolbox, something that I've been reading about, so just wanted to share with you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Remember to stay on target.